He's an 8-time Louisiana Association of Broadcasters Award winner. And he snapped a ball through his legs.
Wait, why does your name get to go first?
Shut up.
This is Scone T.
Because they made us.
That tastes like...
All right, let's do it.
Tastes like vacation.
Scone T from Olive or Twist in Baton Rouge.
I took a shot of Marky Mark's tequila.
Tons of fun, made it by the skin of his teeth. Coming in hot with about 90 seconds till showtime.
A wizard is never late,
Would
Matthew.
we expect
Nor is he early.
the Bob?
He arrives precisely when he means to.
No worries. You know what I did while you were showing up late?
I wasn't late. I'm fucking here. What are you talking about? You can't accuse me of being late. I was on time. You and fucking Brian Kelly, dude.
$10 in the kitty. We're having a party at the end of the season at my house.
Yeah, you make $10 million a year. Fuck your $10. How about that? I'm a local journalist.
You know what I was doing? I was watching the first ever 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge hype video produced by none other than the GOAT.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Mr. Will Stout.
Oh, what?
Hell yeah, bro.
Oh, my God. Hold on, dude.
Will Stout, he of 2019 LSU hype video fame. Will Stout has a, oh, yeah, here we go.
Oh, okay, dude. It looks like a little...
Little 104.5 ESPN hype video. Check out the 104.5 ESPN.
Thank
so,
you.
Are you going to burn that? Are we going to see that?
No, I think he just did. He just
did
flamed it up a little bit. It was like a hibachi.
And unfortunately, I think
it smells great.
I think your laptop was covering the flame.
Yeah, but I'm looking at this picture of LeBron at Savannah.
And your fanny pack
celebrating
is in the
9
shot.
minutes.
Your fanny pack is in the shot.
It's a great fanny pack.
Yeah,
Thank you to Blaine Lawrence. It's a great fanny pack.
Okay, so we're here at Oliver Twist in Baton Rouge, Perkins Road near Essen, behind Solu. Awesome spot. We're here for Scone T every Wednesday, live from 7 to 8 p.m. You can watch live on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube, the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge Facebook page, listen on demand on Drop Biscuit Studios, however you get your podcasts. And so watch or listen live. We appreciate it. Smash that like button on YouTube, like the page, share the post on Facebook. And we got about an hour to talk Tiger football, drink some drinks, and all the other good stuff. So
hell yeah, dude.
This feels much different than last week when we were bemoaning the Florida State loss, and now we're all laughing at Notre Dame, Texas A&M, Nebraska, and all the other jokers that deserve to be laughed at this week.
Yeah. It's been nice to get to be the predator instead of the prey, right? If you're looking for where you can maybe expect the harsh gaze of college football to turn this weekend, make no mistake, Texas A&M is still firmly in the sights if they go out and lose to Miami, but also big Brian Harsin joke potential on the horizon, right?
Yep.
If they fuck up against Penn State at home and look kind of how they have thus far, then all of a sudden, I always love a good negative Auburn news cycle. It's guaranteed to have crazy twists and turns and just wild amounts of money being thrown around. So, I like it when it's not focused on you. Now, unfortunately, what I don't like, Matt, and I have been watching a lot of film, what I don't know that I like is going against this Mississippi State team.
You know what I really like? I like the fact that I can actually have a salient college football conversation with you now.
Hey, look at me, dude.
I mean,
Snaps! Listen to it every day on the Volume Sports YouTube channel.
T-Bob and I did LSU pregame for several years together, and just basically this season-long bit was that he knew nothing about anything.
Yeah.
I mean, not that you don't know the game of football, but my point is, like, you knew nothing about college football, names, players, conferences, divisions, like, knew nothing.
Yeah,
and now you're, like, talking fluid. Like, you have gone from someone who would sort of, like, jokingly say, like, hola, I know Spanish, to, like, now you downloaded Babbel and you're fluent now. It's kind of like I actually I'm looking forward to having a college football conversation with you tonight.
It has been great because what has it allowed me to do is I can now justify it to my family that I actually have to go to a room or an office and lock myself in there for 13 hours and only watch college football, which I couldn't quite justify before. But now with that new gig, I can. And so I told my she's a wedding photographer, right? So during the fall, we're both gone for the majority of Saturdays. We kind of gotten used to that. And I told her, I was like, look, this year I'm going to be even less up. Like, we got to treat it like I'm at a wedding, too, because I'm going to be gone like 10 a.m. to like 1 a.m. And that has been the case. And it's been awesome, man. I got this new computer where I watch 5 games at once. The best game gets the main screen, and then a lot of times.
Can I come watch games with you?
4 games. It's a tiny office, but yes, you can come sit in my chair next to me.
Okay,
yeah.
All right.
It smells like ham sandwiches and beer. I'm thinking about putting the Coors Light cooler in there. The mountain cooler?
Yeah.
I think it'd be a good place for
Courtesy of Stevie Levy, the king of the wings.
Yeah.
Who scored that one.
Oh, really? Okay, hell yeah.
So that was
I still have that giant metal Plucker sign in my car too, Steve, if you want it.
So the Coors Light thing was a giveaway when we did the draft party there like 2 years ago, and the person that won it on the drawing never claimed it. They never came and got it.
It looks like a piece of the aggro crag.
So I took it. It sat in my garage for like a year. I know you and Hester endorse Coors, and so I was like,
it's just like a little too big for the actual studio itself, but it'd be great. It's
like the shape of the mountains. I mean,
it's a literal mountain.
It's a mountain fridge.
Mountain fridge.
I was like, would you please take this out of my garage? Okay, anyway.
But yes, the point is, yes, I've been watching a lot of college football. I am absolutely loving it, and I feel like I've got stronger actual football opinions when it comes to other teams outside of LSU than I've had in the past.
Thunder Road, Trivia Carter, Brennan Huff, Jeb, Raymond, Brad, David, Edward O, Cliff Nelson. We appreciate y'all watching live. Jason Gibson, Chance Babin, Chewy Gutierrez, Michael Johnson.
Chewy.
Lots of really Corey Valet. We appreciate y'all for being here. Kirk Taylor, what's up? So do you want to do any LSU Southern recap, maybe even just briefly, like takeaways, big picture stuff, so we can quickly move on. Oh my!
I mean,
God.
I think those duck fat fries are there. They're amazing. I think the only
you
things
have to
are
pull them closer to get them into the shot.
Like we said on Whiskey and Wine, the quarterback battle is decided, right? So that conversation's dead. That's kind of the big takeaway of the game.
The craziest thing are the people that are still riding the Nuss bus. I'm not talking about in the future. I mean, they're like, well, how can you make these determinations? It was against Southern. I'm like, precisely. It was against Southern, and your boy threw 2 picks and should have thrown 4.
Yeah, and so and I understand why. I think I understand why people are still wanting to make
because people want to be right.
Well, yeah, okay.
I get
that. You can't ignore that element of it. No, but I mean, at the same time, Jaden Daniels is going to be a run-first quarterback a lot of times this year. And some people think that no matter what, there's a ceiling on that, and they don't want to see it, and they would rather develop a young guy through, a more pure passer through the mistakes. But I don't agree with that.
Brother,
I think that there's multiple ways. Okay, well, I mean, look, all I'm saying is I disagree, because outside of Nuss's mistakes, he did a lot of exciting things throwing the ball from a timing and rhythm perspective, but it just the picks were awful and inexcusable. But the point is, there are multiple styles of playing quarterback, and this weekend you are going to see 2 polar opposite styles. Will Rogers is pure timing, pure anticipation. He will throw an out route like 2 seconds, it seems like, before the receiver even breaks. Like, he chunks it, and then, like, 10 seconds later, it lands right in the receiver's hands, and he's right in the hole of the zone.
So are we not talking about Southern then? Or are we just moving on?
Well, we can get back to Southern, but the point on this, because now I'm rolling.
Yeah, go ahead.
So that's the Rogers side, anticipation, time, and everything. That's not going to be Jaden Daniels, and that's okay. Like, he's not going to hit a crossing route where the crosser's coming behind a linebacker who's shuffling, and he just knows, okay, if I just throw it ahead of him, like, that linebacker can't recover. He can throw to tight windows on deep balls and on seams and on comebacks, and when it's open, he can deliver it. He can deliver deep, but he will use his legs a lot, and that's not a bad thing. Like, you can win a lot of games with Jaden Daniels running the hell out of the ball and then making the big throws that he needs to make. And I think he's capable of doing that. But I do think that you have to make peace with that style of play and not just let your brain tell you that style of play is automatically bad, because I don't think that it is.
I would also submit the very obvious follow-up is part of the reason he's running so much is because the offensive line is terrible. and was against Florida State, and is likely going to get bullied this week against a very good Mississippi State defensive front. So he's probably look, I said it before Florida State, I'm going to say it again. Jaden Daniels on Saturday is going to be your leading rusher.
Yeah,
not because they're calling design runs, because he's going to be running for his life, and he's going to rip off 25-yard runs again.
Yeah, I don't think that's I think that's entirely likely possible. I don't know if I would give Mississippi State's D-line the very good tag. I just want to say that LSU's O-line is really good. Like, they even really struggled against Southern at times. I mean, a lot of bad technique, guys on the ground. It's a pretty grim picture. We got a lot of room for improvement, but it's a grim picture as it stands now. What I'm talking about,
it's not Jeffrey Simmons, Montez Sweat. It's not that line.
No.
Don't misunderstand me. But they're a good defensive line, and I'll tell you, man, talking to guys this week like Cole Kublik, who I know you and I both respect a lot, Sean Salisbury, who's oddly like really good friends with Mike Leach and spends a lot of time. Like, they both essentially echoed the same thing with State's defensive line. They're a line that does the dirty work. Like,
yeah, I mean, I kind of heard the same thing from Hess, but when I've watched him, I haven't thought so.
Did you watch him against Arizona?
Yes, I didn't think so. Did you watch the first Arizona drive? Where Arizona pushed him around and ran for like a 30-yard touchdown at the end?
Arizona ran for like 40 yards in the game.
Yeah, I know, but they dominated him coming out of the gate. And then, look, man,
how much of that is you scripted your first 15 plays and it went well, and then you couldn't adjust and they beat you?
Look, I watched a lot of Memphis. I watched a lot of Arizona. This D-line's not as good as Florida State. They're not as good as Florida State.
I'm not saying they're as good as Florida State.
I'm saying they're nothing to write home about. If you want to call them solid, you can call them solid. But the problem is not them being a very good Mississippi State defensive line. The problem is LSU looks very deficient on offensive line still. And why I'm talking about the timing, why I'm talking about the timing with Jaden Daniels is because in the Southern game, when he was not pressured, there were routes that were opening up in the holes of the zone that he just does not throw. And again, that is not the worst thing in the world. It's just the quarterback who he is, but it is different than the quarterback that you were going to face this game. So, yes, of course he's running because the offensive line is bad, but there's other times, too, where you could get the ball out, but it's just not his style of play.
Interestingly enough, so Mike Leach on the teleconference today, Wednesday, as we're recording this live, on the SC teleconference, was asked about Jaden Daniels. He spoke for about 10 seconds, just, nice job, makes plays with his feet.
Who said this?
Mike Leach.
Okay,
about Daniels.
Yeah.
So they played Daniels' freshman year at Arizona State. And
Great game.
Jaden Daniels, I went and looked up the box score. Jaden Daniels was 26 of 36 for
363 yards, I think. 3 touchdowns, no picks.
And he ran for a tud, too.
Yeah.
He led it was 38-34. And they led
They entered the fourth quarter down 31-24. He led an 89-yard touchdown drive. Washington State kicked a field goal, and then with 2 minutes, 30 seconds left, down 3, he led a 75-yard touchdown drive to win the game. Shout out Sheldon Nichols. He wrote about it in The Advocate today.
I did not read Sheldon's piece in The Advocate today, but I did look up the box score for the game. And
see, how do you always win Louisiana Sports Writers Association of the Year radio guy, and you don't even read the sports writer shit? And you actively talk about how you don't read it. And I'm out here pimping y'all, and I can't get the award? Man, I'm done with y'all writers, dude. I'm kind of angry at y'all right now. I'm going to eat this duck fry.
It's a broadcast award.
What? What do you mean?
I won the broadcast category.
Yeah. Who votes on it?
Another state's association.
Oh, never mind. Well, I'm going to tell them. I'm going to tell them that you don't read their shit either.
Okay. All right. So let's go back and talk about what we liked a little bit and what we maybe didn't for this other game. Then we'll look ahead and kind of dive in Mississippi State. We'll get into picks for this week. I totally reversed course. This is 2 weeks in a row I've done it with Florida.
Yes, I love it. Me too.
2 weeks in a row. So last week, the first week of the season, we were here. And you picked Utah, I kind of brushed it aside. I sort of agreed passively. By Friday, I picked Florida. I had a money line play on Florida. I felt really good about it. Last week, I sat here, and I was like, you know what, fuck it. I'm in on Kentucky. Kentucky's going to win this game outright. By the time I got to Friday, I completely reversed again, and I picked Florida and made a play on them to win and cover. And, of course, they lost. So I don't know what's going to happen based on my pick here to Friday, but there is one game. There is one game I'm going to pick that will probably surprise some people.
Well, and so let's be clear. I am so glad to be wrong on Florida. Like, I saw exactly what I desperately wanted to see out of Florida, which is an Anthony Richardson that has not arrived yet. Because if they had started 2-0 with 2 ranked wins, with Anthony Richardson looking fantastic, that is an awful reality that I do not want to be a part of, Matt. So I was very happy to be wrong on Florida. And that's always a bet that I like, right? A bet where, okay, if I don't get this right, am I going to be pissed at myself? Like, I hate when I bet on Alabama and then they fuck up like they did last week, and I'm like, oh, my God, I lost money and y'all still won. Awful, awful feeling. Not the case when it comes to Florida. AR right now, Anthony Richardson currently the lowest rated passer in the SEC, the only passer not completing 60% of his passes. Jaden Daniels, highest rated passer.
He was so good, though, against Utah in sort of making sort of dynamic plays, right? The creative plays. But what?
Moose just almost fucking broke his neck.
Yeah, don't break your neck. don't break your neck. Okay, so Southern. Let's go through the what we liked. For me, I think the very obvious one is you fixed all of your special teams issues. Can you carry it forward? We'll see. But you blocked for your PATs and field goals. You made them. You fielded your punts cleanly. Congratulations.
Clayton.
No Shankopotamus from Jay Bramblett this week. All of your kicks were touchbacks except the first one, which you forced a fumble. You blocked a punt. Like, special teams were awesome. For 4 quarters, they were objectively awesome for 4 quarters. So that was good to see. We also saw Javen Nicholas return a kickoff. I wonder if they're going to stick with that, too.
Who's Javen Nicholas? I don't know.
He's the freshman.
I only watched, like, the first quarter and a half of this game.
Or maybe if you read Louisiana Sports Writers, you would know who Javen Nicholas is, you asshole. Javen Nicholas is a freshman walk-up from St. Aug.
Okay.
So,
wow.
And Brian Kelly mentioned him. They like him a lot. He's number 33. So he returned to kickoff in the game. So they got guys. Listen, on one hand, the fact that Gregory Clayton, a UTSA transfer, is returning punts, and Javen Nicholas, a walk-on from St. Aug, a freshman, is returning kickoffs.
It's an inherent commentary on the roster in a way.
Yes, it's an illustration that you ain't great. You know what I mean? As much as you want to, like, upsell these players, it's fine. It's different than when you have Odell Beckham back there. It's just not the same.
It's still a credit to those guys for winning those jobs.
For sure.
But, yes, it is a bit of a sign of where you're at currently.
It's where
on the
you
roster.
are. But you know what I feel, though? I feel that as this season goes along, that especially on the offensive line, like every subsequent week, I think they're going to keep getting better and better and better and better. And it's going to be one of those things where we look in November and we go, man, I'd love to play Florida State now. Play Florida State now and see how that goes.
No, I mean, I think I agree with that because I think I still agree with a lot of the potential of these offensive linemen, but I'll be damned if they don't look pretty raw, man.
But what
Even
about
against Southern sometimes?
Not just that, but like the fact that they're still rotating spots.
I know, and I'm still not as sold on this new grouping as everybody else seems to be.
But the fact that like going into week 3, you're moving Greg Brooks back to safety and Jay Ward to nickel after they both played those respective spots all throughout camp. It just goes to show you they are still learning this team.
Yeah.
Who can do what, and doing it, they're building the bridge as they cross it. Against the SEC, it's just a brutal ask. So there's, like we've said a bunch, there's going to be ups and there's going to be downs. There's going to be wins, there's going to be losses. There's going to be days where it looks really good and you're excited, and there's going to be days where you're really pissed off and it doesn't go super well.
And you're in the stronger SEC West than there's been in a while. Mississippi State's damn good. Arkansas's damn good. We all know Alabama's Alabama. A&M is not good, but they're still good defensively and I don't know. I mean, App State kind of fucked with them, but it's a good. I guess it feels even like a better SEC West too because Mississippi State, Ole Miss, and Arkansas all seem really good, and it's the traditional brands like LSU and Texas A&M at the bottom.
So aside from special teams, I loved that they spread the ball around, got all their receivers involved, and found creative ways to get Kayshawn the ball. I mean, from the first play, the 5-yard out, the jet sweep, the shovel pass, like they found so many ways to get him involved, keep him engaged, and that's a great thing. I think that's also Mike Denbrock learning his offense, like learning his guys and who he can trust and count on and what they can do, and I think that only continues to build. Anything else from Southern before we move on?
No, like I said, great job doing all the operational coaching and discipline things very well. You can't take too much away from the play, but, it is a positive that you can't control your plane. You can only dominate, right? And they did dominate. So they check that box.
Bro, it was 28-0 midway through the first quarter.
There's still, and like I said, the worrying part is there's still
the highest scoring quarter in the history of the program.
Yeah.
But was it like 1977 and then like 58 were the last times they've scored 30? Were the only times they scored 35 in a quarter? They scored 37 against Southern.
I would not be surprised, dude. I mean, that never happens. I think also.
I think I read about that, maybe in the Advocate.
Maybe if you read these fucking Louisiana Sports, maybe you
I
would
stung you a bit with that one, huh?
No, I'm just going to keep throwing it back at you.
So I can't remember. No, I have no other takeaways except that the only part that's freaking me out a little bit, and I hope they fix it, are still just some of the negative plays I saw out of the offensive line. Like some kind of some real head scratching technique at times, and some real head scratching assignment play in
like
terms
what?
of letting guys run.
Like I'll defer to
okay,
you.
give me an example. There's a couple technique issues where guys are playing out over their toes, and two severely undersized Southern defensive linemen, and I mean severely undersized, are just getting beat immediately. I mean, just beat one. Dylan Guerrero beaten a pass one time very badly. Emory Jones got beaten a pass set very badly one time. Turner in the run game one time. Anthony Bradford in the run game one time. It was just some head down kind of poor technique at times. And sometimes it's hard. I get it, man. You're trying to reach a guy, he slants inside your face. Just a good call and a good call. But some not so great technique. And then a couple issues where TFLs, like there was one on the goal line especially, which was glaring, where you just let two unblocked guys in the backfield, just completely unblocked on both the front side and the backside linebackers that should have been accounted for in the scheme. So I guess I still don't know what to make of this offensive line. And in my head, that was the biggest thing that I had to nerf after game one, because I knew they were going to struggle, but I thought they'd be better than what they were. And I'm still not sure how good they are. And the problem with Denbrock's offense is it does seem like an offense predicated on good O-line play. Like the air raid, I would love to be an air raid O-lineman. You don't do shit. You don't even have to hold your block. It doesn't matter. Will Rogers is going to get rid of the ball. Or they're only rushing three and you have five guys. So you're like all homied up. I mean, if you're an offense, there's times in Mississippi State where they're not picking up twists correctly at all, but it doesn't matter. Because if you twist, you're not going to get to the quarterback. So, the air raid helps you mask things like that. Denbrock's offense, I don't feel like what we've seen out so far. I don't think I can say that. And so that becomes a problem. And if the most talent is on your roster is that wide receiver, and you can't get the ball to your wide receivers, well, that's a massive problem. I don't care if you have more talent than Mississippi State. The majority of your talent, if it gets cut off because you can't get the ball to them, then none of it comes to bear.
Well, then isn't the challenge then to do what you did in the fourth quarter against Florida State and you go tempo to neutralize some of that rush?
Yes, absolutely. I love
that's
tempo. I love tempo. I think that's exactly what Florida State did to you. And I also still, the loss of Mason Smith would have been so big in every single game this year. Especially this one.
You mean having a 6'6", 300-pound interior lineman that moves like a gazelle that can throw humans like ragdolls?
It's the best player on your team.
Would be helpful.
It's the best player on your team.
Helpful. That is such a bummer.
But, especially a game where you got to have like you said, he is helpful in every game. He's your best player.
Yeah.
But when you're going to feature a three-man rush, his size and strength in the middle could have been, and this is where, Mekhi Wingo, this is his specialty. Interior pass rush. Maybe he can push that pocket and let Ojolari and Gay get home a couple times. But it's going to be interesting. Greg Lamont says, T-Bob, just say the O-line is bad. I think, yes. I think they are bad right now. I also am not overly impressed with Mississippi State's D-line. It's not what – I should have watched film on Florida State's D-line before the game. I did not. That's on me. Florida State's defensive line was clearly supremely talented when that game, you could just see when that game started. I'm not there with Mississippi State's D-line yet. I'll keep watching. I'm not there yet.
So, by the way, tonight's break-even bottle is Penelope. It's not just Penelope. This is the rosé cask finish. They have the Architect as well. Penelope is a newer distillery, but they're putting out some really good juice, man. I'm going to tell you, they gave me the option if I wanted to try this or the Architect. and I have the Architect, which is very good. This is a rosé cask finish, and I tend to steer clear of whiskeys finished in wine barrels because you tend to just get a little. You get some like bitterness, rancid.
I haven't loved them what I've had.
I'll tell you, like one distillery that I love is Jefferson's, and they have a. Thank you, sir. Oh, all right. Oh, little Garrison Brothers.
Damn, did you just get switched out in the middle?
No,
of that,
that's right in the middle of it. But that's okay. Yeah, Jefferson's has a Pritchard Hill Cabernet cask finish, and it's terrible. It's one of the worst whiskeys I've ever had.
But that one is good.
But that is very good. There's no bitterness that you sometimes might get from that fruit flavor. Now this is one that I hate. This is Garrison Brothers. It's out of Texas. No, I'm going to tell you why I hate it.
No, I appreciate the objectivity here.
I'll always tell you.
Yeah,
people know I drink enough whiskey that I can't bullshit people, but I'll tell you why I hate this. Garrison Brothers this is a $100 bottle, and this is actually single barrel, so I don't even know, or maybe it's all single barrel, and then this is just a newly designed, a redesigned bottle. But Garrison Brothers is about $100, and they are capitalizing on the whiskey craze, and so they price it at $100 when people think, oh, it's $100, must be really good. Oh. This is something that you should probably pay $35 for. That was $35, I'd be all down for it. But this is one mistake I made early when I was just getting into sort of the hobby of
the juice game.
In the juice game. I was just getting into the juice game. Yeah. And, you try to build a collection and you try to try different things. And so I always tell people never buy a bottle until you've tried it. Go to a bar. Come here. You can try. You have a pour of this. If you like it, then go buy the bottle. Never buy a bottle. Never buy. If someone gifts it to you, great. But never buy a bottle until you've tried it. You like it, because that's how you end up with shitty bottles that sit in your cabinet for like 5 years that you never drink because you hate it. And I have a bottle of Garrison Brothers I probably had 2 pours out of that was just very bad.
Let's do a TikTok where we office space it.
$100.
Let's do a TikTok where we office space and we just smash it on the ground and then beat it with aluminum bats.
Or maybe I'll just give you the bottle and you can drink it, because I've done that before. I've given you bottles I don't like and you drink it because you'll drink anything that'll get you a buzz.
That is all true.
Yeah,
I enjoy it. I enjoy it to varying degrees, but the only liquor I've ever had that I really didn't enjoy was when y'all got me with that Chinese liquor here.
The Yamato?
Yeah, no, not the Yamato. That was good Japanese whiskey.
Oh, that you didn't enjoy?
Yeah, that I did not.
Oh, not enjoy.
The only liquor I have ever not enjoyed was that Chinese liquor, Bongshu. Yes. I can't remember what it was called.
It was terrible.
But it tasted like, I can only describe it as licorice and socks.
It was terrible. And then you try to get me with a high-proof something or other.
It did not work.
I was basically like, this just is all heat. It's not good. I was like, it's all heat. It's not good.
That's all I heard.
Well, I have a refined palate. I do have a refined whiskey palate at this point.
That is true. But I got a sexy palate. I got a party palate. Like, everybody's just climbing on top of my tongue, banging one another, having fun. It's like, I don't know if you've seen the most recent episode of House of Dragons, kind of like that brothel scene. Yours, like, it's a little more uptight. Like, you got to have, like, reservations to get in. Your palate has, like, an uppity French maitre d' working the front that makes you immediately feel lesser than when you interact with him. Whereas mine's, like, the kind of he's just, like, the kind of cool dude on the bar stool. Like, you got your ID? I don't give a fuck, man. Go inside, dude. Go have fun, dude. Come on. Get on.
I'm only like that with whiskey, though.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're talking about. Yeah,
anything else, I'm down, Well, steaks, too. I don't want cheap whiskey or bad steak.
Oh, I had a great steak from Iverstein right before I came up here, dude.
From where?
Iverstein.
Oh, from Iverstein? How'd you cook it?
I am a massive fan of the pan-sear oven finish.
Okay.
I find I get my most consistent, the cast iron, obviously. But it gives you your most consistent coloring process. You really just can't fuck it up once you got it down. And just salt and pepper. Get your meat to room temperature.
Of course.
And throw a little pat of butter on when you're resting it at the very end. It's a fucking good steak, bro. These duck fries are a great way to follow it up, dude. These things are delicious. The food here, again, y'all, if you have not had the Oliver Twist food, do yourself a favor. Come in here for a cocktail. Come in here for some drinks. Obviously, we all know about the drink selection, but the food is fucking fantastic, dude.
94 proof. That's my speed. It's a single barrel 94 proof. I should like it. It's not age stated.
Let me try some of this. Let the party palate have a little crack at it.
You know what? That's probably why. It's probably the corn.
Corn's hot right now, dude. That kid on TikTok's really big for loving corn.
This is
you
why.
might want to chill out, dude.
It's
you can't go out
it's
to corn.
3-year-old juice. That's why. There's no way. There's no fucking way. 3-year-old juice should be $100. No fucking way. It's just an unrefined spirit. It's not good.
What if I just smash
That's what
this
pisses
bitch?
me off. You want to charge $30 for that? Fine. $100, man. Yo.
Whoa, yeah, my bad. Huh?
No, don't pour it back in the bottle. Don't pour it back in the bottle. I don't want it, but drink it. I'm saying don't say.
I don't know, dude. I was singing in my head, dude.
Look at the pours. Look at the difference. Oh, my God. Like, this is why we can't take you anywhere.
Dude, I'm thinking in my
God, you fucking slob.
I didn't think about it, dude. I'm thinking in my head, like, fuck the Garrison brothers, dude. I was thinking about smashing the bottle.
Oh, my God. You did that with the Yamato that time. You had that would have been like a $500 pour of Yamato.
Wait, what?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, my God.
Not that much.
Woo, you just almost gave me a panic attack, dude. Yes, these short rib bag rolls are
dude,
good.
This smells like shit. It's
no.
not
Let's
good.
see.
It smells like a burned tire. It's so not
Effective
good.
Diesel
I can't believe this
with
is
the
$100.
$5 super
Don't
chat.
buy Garrison Brothers. It's dog shit.
Better pick. Air Force over Wyoming. They are rolling. Okay, Effective Diesel. I see you. I don't know what Air Force is doing yet. I'm not that deep yet.
All right. Did you ever lose to Mississippi State?
No, we got very close. The Chad Jones game. We were in the middle of the
08.
Yeah,
That was 9. That was 9.
But we were in the middle of the 18-game streak where we did not lose for 18 years, which is hilarious because, again, at a certain point you trip and fall into win like the Chad Jones game, but Chad Jones is just too fucking good and just balled out. That was a very weird game, early slot, team not up for it, first year starting. That was one of the most confused. I was a young center trying to play. That was one of the most confused I'd ever been with making the calls. It was a rough early year that year. Like, I had a really bad game against Florida early on, too, that year. But that Mississippi State game, everything was a little hazy, a little confusing.
The 11 a.m.
And
in the rain.
Lightning delay in the middle of it at a certain point. Just odd, sleepy environment.
Not only did Chad Jones have the punt return, but he also had
the fourth down
play in the end zone to win it. Like, that was a hold your breath type game.
You know what's crazy? After they broke up that ball, we had the ball on like the 6-inch line, and I had to snap it, right? And the only thing is don't fumble the snap. And I have no idea why in my life. I've never practiced this in my life once. I hit a 4-point stance to snap that bitch. Just because I was like, I got to get low here. And I had never once practiced a snap out of a 4-point stance. But that shit worked, dude.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes you just got to go for it.
The more you know.
Low man wins.
It's a dangerous opportunity to try something for the first time ever.
It was not it's funny because, like...
And why were they throwing it into the end zone from that far away?
That was really dumb. But no, I remember, like, I got in the stance, and as soon as I did, I was like, what the fuck am I doing? And I was like, I can't lift my hand.
Your hand.
If I lift my hand at this point, I'm going to get a penalty.
Well, then what are they going to do? Move the ball back this far?
That's fair.
Where are you going to go?
Fair. I was just like,
can you imagine the umps? Well, like the I guess it would have been the umpire would come up and just be like,
I'm all in. I'm all in. Yeah, I mean, that would be it. It'd be a literal 3-inch movement. But anyway, no. So we beat Mississippi State every year. When Matt, you might know this. When was the last time that Mississippi State was favored in Death Valley?
They might have been favored in 2014.
With Dak?
That was Dak, and they beat.
I thought we got beat on the come up though. I thought that was when people still thought LSU was good and Mississippi State wasn't.
Maybe 2000. 2000 was a great game. If I remember, it was 45-38 in overtime game. That was Porkchop Womack, and Jolie Dunn was the defensive coordinator. That was a game in Tiger Stadium, Nick's first year. That might have been the one.
Okay. So it's been over 20 years.
That might be an odder question. It's that 2014 team. I don't remember. But
I just always feel like we played Mississippi State early, and that year they rose late.
So
they rose.
99 was when Mississippi State beat LSU in Starkville. It was a Wayne Madkin game. There was a bullshit call at the goal line. Everything was going wrong for LSU at that point in Jared DiNardo's tenure. And then the next year in Baton Rouge was that game I referred to that went to overtime. And I think it was either 38-31 or 45-38, something like that was the final. It was a high-scoring game. LSU.
I don't know. That is right before my LSU awareness starts.
October 21st of 2000, it was 45-38 was the final. How about your boy?
That was a good memory, dude.
A 21-point fourth quarter for the boys.
Watch this time.
All right, let's go. Yeah, let's go. Let's see it.
It's like the choo-choo train at Hibachi.
Ooh,
a little squirty squirt. Yeah. Squirting that drink. Got him. Wait, so what's lighting on fire there? The lemon juice?
The lemon juice.
The citrus, like the citrus.
Let him share your mic.
Okay.
Get really close to him and share your mic.
Yeah, dude.
Cool.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cool. What is that?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's
got alcohol in it.
Matthew probably texted me. I should know.
It's got alcohol in it, as we established it, as long as it's not that cheap
the party pallet.
The party, you're down.
The party pallet
is down.
Welcome to the party, bruh.
All right, so I just am offended at the thought that LSU could lose to Mississippi State, because my whole life I've just watched them beat Mississippi State. So 2014, that ass whipping in Baton Rouge was really tough, but every game since then has been. Well, nearly every game since then has been close. The game, when Les was nearly fired, where you had to have Mississippi State miss a field goal that would have won it, in 2016.
Yes. Yep. Oh, I forgot about that game.
Last year was close. There have been too many. Even even 2018 in Baton Rouge. The game in the rain. That was the game with Jeffrey Simmons and Sweat, like that great defensive line. Like Cole Tracy hit like 5 field goals in the rain and in the muck. Like if Cole Tracy isn't on, like that's one of those.
Cole Tracy
was awesome.
Led to 2019 by creating stability in 2018. By
without
winning
Cole
those
Tracy
games.
Without Cole Tracy, Ed Orgeron would not have been the coach in 2019.
That's what I mean by the stability line.
No question.
I agree with that.
Because it's all water to the bridge at this point. But I mean, there was a contingent of LSU boosters that wanted to fire Ed after year one.
Yeah,
and it was essentially decided that he was going to get a second year because of how they finished year one. You remember they got blown out by Mississippi State.
Yeah.
They lost to Troy, but they wanted Florida, and
the epic game where I want to say the D line that day. Oh, why am I blanking right now? Come on, help me out. Good D lineman. Oh my God,
Lockature, Greg Gilmore.
Yes, Locke and the boys had to play 80 or 90 plays in the swamp. They had no rotation.
Yeah,
that roster had no front seven.
Yeah.
And they played valiantly the entire game and found a way to win.
They won 17-16.
Pinero missed the extra point.
They went on to win 9 games. Ed got a second
to
season.
Making bread, you little bitch.
And that's Pinero, not Panera.
Okay, well I called him Panera.
Yeah, no, that's not the same thing. But Ed needed to go over 8 to feel safe.
Yeah, 100%.
It was. If he had won 7 games, he was getting fired.
Which is funny because LSU this year looks like 7 games would be an accomplishment.
Right, but it goes to show you how far things have fallen to where this is the reality.
True.
But it's just different perspectives. I think you talk about that with Ole Miss in the COVID year, right, where LSU and Ole Miss had the same record, but it felt vastly different.
Yes, 100%.
So it's just really what's your perspective going into a season. But Cole. Think about Cole Tracy with. Even the opener against Miami, the kicks against Mississippi State in the rain, the walk-off against Auburn. Even if you don't get the walk-off against Auburn, if all else is equal, you're 8-4. Ed might not make it to 2019. Seriously, might not have made it. He might not have made it. So, Cole Tracy was a massive conduit to 2019 being what it was.
Which is why the field goal operation, not Damian Ramos. I don't want to see Damian Ramos, which is why the field goal operation is so disappointing, because that was one of those moments against Florida State. And you could have won that game with better operation. But it doesn't matter. That's all water under the bridge. The bottom line is, what can you do this weekend when you're a home underdog against a team that, like Matt said, his brain is not even used to accepting that LSU should be an underdog against Mississippi State. And I agree, and I'm right there with you. It's very odd from our perspective, and it doesn't feel good at all. I don't like it. And can this team find a way to surprise us? I hope so. I'm a little worried about the defense, Matt, I like the secondary. Okay, so like I kind of feel like about State's offense, how you're talking about the D-line, where like even though I like the secondary, I feel like the offense is really good. So I feel like they're going to stress you in the secondary even if you are good. I'm worried about the linebackers in this game. They looked lost against Florida State.
And we didn't see Micah Baskerville. So
yeah, that's true.
I'll tell you, there's two things defensively. Well, first of all, you should have B.J. Ojolari back and Ali Gay back. You've gotten now another game of continuity with Wingo as your starter and your D-line rotation. There's two things that I think absolutely favor you against this opponent in particular. One is the switch with Jay Ward and Greg Brooks. If you feel like Greg Brooks is a better safety, which is what he's played his whole career at Arkansas, and he's, by the way, for the last 2 years, seen this Mike Leach offense. So, like, that experience can't be underestimated. And Jay Ward, as a freshman, played nickel. That's where he played as a freshman in 2019, was really good. He moved, or 2020, excuse me. He moved last year to safety out of necessity because they had no safeties. So that was a move out of necessity. I think Jay Ward at nickel is a better cover guy, and Brooks has played safety his whole career. So I think that switch is if the coaches have come to the understanding, they believe that's where they're both more comfortable. Austin, that's one. Two is Baskerville. We saw it again. Like, Baskerville is the best linebacker on this team. That's not even a question. He can make plays at the line of scrimmage. He's not afraid to be physical, and he can turn and run. He had a pick six. We've just seen this from Baskerville every year of his career. Like, he is, on Saturday, your best linebacker. He's got to be on the field 90% of your snaps. Like, if he's not, that's a problem. But I like Baskerville in this matchup. Smart guy, athletic, can run, can cover backs and tight ends. Like, good sound tackler, makes plays, not going to be out of position. Like, he makes you better than Mike Jones, Greg Penn. Like, I mean, I don't want to speak negatively about a player, but Mike Jones hasn't been productive. Like, this is the second year in a row now we've talked about, can Mike Jones be the Mike? And it ain't working.
And what's funny is at the end of the year, he was fantastic on the outside.
Because
like,
that's his
he was
role,
fantastic,
which is why he may be great in that overhang spot in this game.
I know.
He may be great on the outside in this against this opponent and put Baskerville inside. But I don't know if they're going to do it.
I mean, they fell in love with Mike Jones from a leadership perspective at a certain point.
We both ate a fry at the same time. It's your fault, because I made my point.
Look, man.
And then threw the fry in my mouth.
I learned at the feet of the Oddfather, okay? I got no fucking shame.
Dude,
love you, Otter. Shout out to Worm, getting a lot of love in the papers this week.
But the thing is, when you're taking your bites because your guest on the phone is talking, just turn your mic down.
Nah, dude.
Like,
because there's a realness.
You're on a JK. So the JK, for those that don't know, is the audio mixer that all the headphones plug in. We have one. Well, that's a different one. But like, you can control your mic and headphone volume. Like, if you're ever listening and you can hear background while there's a phone interview, and you hear background noise, and then the guest starts talking, and you hear the background noise go away. It's because the host turned off his mic, so he's not picking up anything. So all you're hearing is the guest on the phone. Like, bro, just turn your mic off and take your bite if that's what you're going to do. I don't need to hear.
Nah, dude. Nah, Otter, be you, dude. It's worked out great for you thus far in life.
I love him too.
The realist of the reals.
You know what? What's the biggest tell though? The biggest tell is when you come back to start talking again, and because you've got all that flavor in your mouth, you have to go.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You have to swallow, do the big smack. It's like, we all know you're eating. Like, that's disgusting. Stop doing that.
No. It's honest. It's relatable.
Gross. It's gross.
It's relatable.
I don't want to hear people eat their food.
He's like, you ever notice how sometimes actors are like experts at eating food in scenes?
No.
I know there's remember the Titan scene with Denzel Washington where this really stands out. There's Denethor eating tomatoes in The Return of the King. But that's Otter, essentially, is a master actor enhancing a scene through the reality of his food consumption.
That's fucking stupid. One of my biggest pet peeves in life is listening to someone chew or someone talking with food in their mouth.
What about listening to someone spew? Because I got to do it every Wednesday.
When I, when I'm on the phone,
Got it.
and if, like my dad does this all the time. I love my dad, amazing man. But it never fails.
Fuck him.
When it never fails. Like when I call him, a lot of times when I'm driving home after the show, I'll just call my dad. Just like, hey man, what's going on? How's your day? Whatever. And it's 6:30, whatever. A lot of times he's eating dinner. And he's talking to me and he's like throwing food in his mouth. I'm like, motherfucker, like,
see, I don't mind.
Can you not eat for 5 minutes while we talk?
I don't mind.
Or call me back when you're done?
My dad's problem, he's just an incredibly loud phone talker. He is still convinced that, like, you can't hear him on the phone.
On speaker?
So he's like, T-Bob, look, tell Alice I want to FaceTime later. I'm like, oh, dude.
I can hear you, man.
Fuck, dude, calm down, dude. I'm on my AirPods.
Dude,
talk normal.
Erica does not. My wife does not understand that on speakerphone you don't need to project. It's like the mic is calibrated to pick up your voice. You just have to talk normal volume. But her and her sisters are the loudest people in the world. They just yell. I'm like, y'all motherfuckers are the loudest people I know.
So if I'm being honest,
why can none of you just, like, I talk for a living and I project, right? We have to project into a microphone. Like, but when I'm home, when I can turn that off and I can just talk, like at a normal volume in a home where people can hear me. But dude, like, so loud.
Well, see, I'm like her and her sisters though, because when I talk to my dad, I go louder too. It just happens naturally. Oh,
you know who's loud?
Jay Hill, you know that,
your
bro?
Boy right
just
here.
Text me, bro. Who moves?
It was in a meeting earlier today. No, we were in a meeting earlier today. It was and Moose was 5 feet away. He's full throat. I'm like, hey, bro, we're in a small room. Take it down a notch, Scotty. All right, 14 more minutes. Do you want to get to questions or do you want to talk?
Yeah, we can get a lot of questions. By the way, if y'all been putting your questions, I've been
we got to do our picks.
Okay, let's do our picks first.
All right, biggest, are we doing?
Okay, real quick on Mississippi State, because it's our last chance to talk about it. Must tackle well. And I know that's cliche at this point, y'all, but go if you want to. I mean, you don't really have to. Whatever, fuck it. But Arizona and Memphis both really struggle to tackle. Like, a lot of times, Mississippi State's strategy will simply be, I'm going to throw the ball underneath, and I'm going to count that you're going to miss at least one tackle, which will make this into a positive play. The better you can tackle, the better you will do this game. It's just the bottom line.
What about running the football? John Emery's back. Brian Kelly this week is severely downplaying John Emery's role this week.
And I don't...
Almost to the point where it's like, it's curious how adamant he is about how little Emery's
The only reason I don't
play.
discredit is I take his evaluation of the offensive line at service level, where he's like, well, can't really judge how we ran the ball game too, so I don't really know what the run blocking's like, to be honest. So I don't know. I don't think it's a John Emery problem. Again, this offensive line has to improve a lot.
No, what I'm saying is Brian Kelly has said John Emery hasn't really played in 2 years, so we can't run him much. Like, we'll get him the ball a little bit, but so I think Emery's role in this game is going to be, look, he's not going for 18 carries for $112. That ain't happening. He might have, like, my hope is he has 6 carries for 52 yards, and one of them is a 40-yarder where he flips the field or busts off a long touchdown run. That's what I'm hoping from John Emery. I don't think LSU is going to be able to run the ball in this game, so my hope is they end up busting a long one that changes the scoreboard and changes the whole dynamic of the game. That's what I hope to see in this game.
I could see that. I don't know how I feel about consistent running yet. All right, let's do our picks.
All right, Georgia, South Carolina. That's in Columbia. Georgia.
Are we doing against the spread or just
just pick?
Okay, Georgia.
Youngstown State travels to Kentucky. Abilene Christian's at Missouri. Ole Miss goes on the road for a true road game at Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is miserable. Ole Miss doesn't have a starting quarterback, and they're a 16.5-point favorite.
When are they going to name a starter?
We'll probably know after this week. That's a 2:30 ABC game, by the way. It's probably going to be Jackson Dart, I would imagine. But
which actually shows you that the Week 3 slate is unfortunately the weakest that we've had thus far.
But remember, the ABC game is an ACC game.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They suck ass. There's just nothing attractive there. Like the Miami Texas A&M game is attractive, but that's at A&M, so it's in ESPN CBS
in the nighttime.
It's the night.
The at Auburn is the 2:30 CBS.
So the reason LSU's playing at 5, and you know what's funny? Not funny, haha, but the Mississippi State game I referenced a minute ago, the 2000 Mississippi State game was an 8 o'clock kickoff, and ESPN used to do that where they would go 5 o'clock, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And so LSU
they don't do that anymore?
Not often, but they are this weekend. That's Miami, Texas A&M. Usually it's 6:30 is the ESPN kickoff. So anyway, so we both like Ole Miss. I think Georgia Tech is shit.
Yeah.
Penn State visits Auburn.
Penn State. I haven't seen enough out of Auburn, and Clifford and Penn State had an impressive win week 1 in West Lafayette.
Jordan-Hare is a really tough place to play.
See, so
And-
yeah, I guess it is.
And
I need to accept that.
I think that environment is going to be a motherfucker for Penn State. Is Auburn sticking with TJ Finley?
to my knowledge.
Every now and again, dude, Finley has a day. I mean, like he did in his start against South Carolina. I mean, he led the game-winning drive in the rain against Arkansas.
No, the problem is I think that his OC setup then with Ensminger was
great.
much better
Yeah.
than what he has now. Like, I don't think the problem is necessarily TJ Finley. When TJ Finley had protection, he was wonderful as a true freshman. Max Johnson was a little bit better creating the chaos, maybe, but like really,
Coincidentally, he was terrible at Auburn as a true freshman.
yeah. I mean, look, well, I don't know, man. I think Auburn's not a great situation. I guess whatever. My point is, we undervalue Ensminger greatly as an offensive coordinator, and TJ Finley was probably in a better position to succeed then than he is now. It doesn't look good at Auburn. Jordan-Hare's hard, but James Franklin and Penn State feel like they're kind of one of those teams lying in wait, wanting to be like, fuck you, everybody. We're actually good.
I'm picking Auburn to win the game.
Okay.
This one I'm fascinated. Vanderbilt, Northern Illinois. Vanderbilt is going to – is that Carbondale where Northern Illinois is?
No idea.
That's a road game for Vanderbilt going to Northern Illinois, and Northern Illinois is 2.5-point favorite.
Northern Illinois has an eighth-year senior, first ever.
Cray.
I'll go Vanderbilt because fuck it. I'm not bailing out Clark Lee after 1 week. Let's go, dude.
So everyone that had the Vanderbilt season total over,
We just need one.
this is it. It was 2.5.
Yep.
They beat Hawaii Elon.
Yep.
This is it. Like, if you don't get this one, there probably isn't another one.
Shit. Is it all SEC?
It's all SEC after this. This is it.
All right, let's do it, boys.
Unless if you can rise up and beat Missouri or something
Everybody
like that.
Clark up. Let's go,
If you
boys.
can beat Missouri, if you can beat Ole Miss, something like that. But this is probably it. So you got to get this one. So I'm going to say they do. Say Vandy gets it. Bama gets to blast ULM at home. Arkansas hosts Missouri State.
Watch out, Alabama.
Bobby,
Little history there, dude.
Bobby Petrino coming
I know.
back to
I know. I
Fayetteville.
heard that today, dude.
That's so interesting, man.
And then you had Feinbaum at the Little Rock Touchdown Club, which Little Rock Touchdown Club, I know there's a lot of money in that room. They get people to talk, and I fucking love it. But Feinbaum clowning Chad Morris and John L. Smith was hilarious. He didn't clown Bobby Petrino, which he should have. We were talking about this today.
He was the only one of the three that could coach.
The hubris, no, he was good at football, coach, shitty
Yeah.
at everything else. The hubris of Bobby Petrino to call that press conference after the motorcycle accident and think with his little Sugar Bowl championship hat that nothing was going to blow up in his face. It is the same hubris that has defined every politician of our lifetime. We're like, I know that I fucked that kid, but like, I could probably run for office and nobody will know. Sure.
Are the Arkan frauds for real? They're ranked in the top 10
how
again.
How are you feeling?
They're ranked in the top 10
I ain't got to
again.
be convinced. That's you, bruh. They look confident these first 2
Ranked
weeks.
in the top 10 again. Tennessee hosts Akron. Florida hosts South Florida. Big bounce back for Florida. South Florida's not any good. And then the big one at night, Miami is at Texas A&M.
The Fraud Bowl. Really, A&M desperately needs to win. If A&M wins, it is like a trauma patient getting like, or it's like somebody who's OD'd getting like a shot of adrenaline in the heart and suddenly like, okay, we're okay. We can stabilize. We can bring this thing back to life. If they lose, it's a fucking disaster down there right now. Now, again, I don't think you're making any moves or whatnot, but moves underneath Fisher will have to be made. It is really bad.
This is the one I alluded to when I said I'm going to pick one that's probably going to surprise people. I think A&M is going to win this game.
Okay.
It is
Miami has not been terribly impressive. I bet on them both weeks, been upset.
It's a massive bounce back spot. I'll give you some examples. 2017 LSU. You get blown out by Mississippi State. You lose at home to Troy.
Yeah.
You lose at home to Troy, and we were having conversations like, where are they going to win?
Yeah.
They got blown out by State. They lost to Troy. Are they going to win a game? Are they going? Is Orgeron going to get fired next week? They go to Gainesville and win 17-16.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
happened when you were 3-5 in 2020, and then you beat the two teams to end it. Where
Florida and Ole Miss.
you would have bet so much money you were going to be 3-7.
3-7. Nick Saban's first year, 2000, just alluded to it. Nick lost to UAB. They lost at home to UAB. The next week, they beat Tennessee at home. Top 10, Tennessee.
Oh, wow, really?
Overtime game. Rohan Davey to Robert Royal, and then defensive stand to win it. Like, it is a massive bounce-back spot.
Do you think they need to change quarterbacks to have the bounce-back?
So that was the other part. And I think Max Johnson starts.
Yeah,
I think Max Johnson starts.
Gotta be, dude.
A&M has the big bounce back. That's what happened in 2000. Josh Booty lost to UAB. They started Rohan the next week against Tennessee, and they upset a highly ranked Tennessee team in Tiger Stadium in overtime. And
so
that
you're
was
going A&M?
I think A&M. Yes, A&M wins. Yes.
It's in College Station.
It's in College Station. They will have a huge crowd. They will have night, momentum, atmosphere, all that massive spot. It's just it's a massive.
You've convinced me
it is a
because
massive
I'm also.
bounce back
You've convinced me because I'm also not. I have not been impressed with Miami. I mean, people keep telling me Tyler Van Dyke's supposed to be one of the best quarterbacks in the country. He has not looked like it thus far. I hope that he proves me wrong. I would love to be excited about a legitimate Miami ACC team.
In the same way that LSU in 2017 still had enough talent to win games. Like, they weren't going to lose out. It's the same with A&M. A&M is still a talented roster, and they got a good coach. I know all the Jimbo I get it all. I've heard it all. We get it all. But they still have enough talent that they should have beaten the shit out of Appalachian State. They slept, walked through it, and App State came in. They're well coached. They punched them in the fucking neck. And good for them. It was freaking hilarious to watch.
It was dominant.
So much fun.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
Yes, it was so much fun to watch. But
even had a special teams touchdown.
I know, and couldn't score. A&M with a bounce back spot this week.
I can see it. I do think on the Jimbo criticism, I think he is a good head coach. I'm starting to come around to the idea, though, that he needs to be more of a CEO and maybe bring in a coordinator on offense.
That's not a bad idea, but I would actually just suggest what he needs is a better quarterback.
But I mean, he's been trying to find one since Jameis Winston.
Absolutely,
that's a decade.
It is. So I gave this. I don't know if I gave this analogy.
And he had 4 first-rounders in a row before that.
Look at Mac Brown at Texas. This is what happened to Mac Brown at Texas. Mac Brown had a decade of Major Applewhite, Chris Sims, Vince Young, Colt McCoy. He had more than a decade of incredible quarterback play.
Yeah.
And then they just kept missing on players at that position, and players from Texas. They didn't recruit RG3.
Yeah.
They didn't recruit Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
They didn't. I mean, it's tough to say.
But
Johnny Manziel
is bad coaching in a way, in and of itself.
It's evaluation, no doubt. No doubt.
Yeah.
But that was the biggest problem Mac Brown had was they recruited Garrett Gilbert, who was highly ranked, and he finished his career, I think, at SMU. He wasn't a good player. Like, they missed, and it's the same thing that's happening at A&M.
And it's fair. But again, Mac Brown is still a good head coach.
He's a good coach.
But he leads the coordinating. I believe, to his underlings now, right? I mean, I know he has like a wealth of experience upon which they're all drawing and everything.
You know, he used to be LSU's quarterback's coach.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he was LSU's quarterback's coach.
I'll tell you this. I fucking love Drake May. I don't know what it is up with UNC's defense, like Gene Chizik, whoever, it doesn't fucking matter, but Drake May's tight as fuck, dude.
It is Gene Chizik is their defense.
No, I know but I'm saying, but the defensive problems transcend Gene Chizik. I'm not putting all of him. North Carolina just sucks at defense.
Okay, we got 2 minutes left. Let's do questions. Thank you for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, please smash the like button, subscribe up to the channel. If you're on Facebook, please like the 104.5 ESPN page, share the post. If you're listening on podcast, however you're listening, please subscribe on your favorite podcast app. We appreciate you for being here with us. Okay, let's wrap up with the questions.
Okay, we got 300 watching right now.
Shout out to Oliver Twist.
And go eat a rock, paper taco, too, right next door. It's delicious. We brought the girls there the other night. How about this? We got 300 people watching. By the end of this questions, let's get to 100 likes. We need 64. Let's go, y'all. Come on, push it.
We have 368 watching.
Okay, well, that's what I'm saying. And 46 likes on my count.
71.
Okay, never mind. Well, let's get this final 29 here. Your
29. We should be at 300. We should be at 368 likes. As I've said before, if you're watching this free content and all we ask is you to push a fucking button, then you won't do that?
No, but I get it's the algorithm. I get it a little bit, but just help us out.
So more of our shit's going to show up in your feed. Sorry. If you don't want to, just fucking scroll past it.
Your fave 5-head guy says, how worried are y'all about the defense tackling his face? I'm a little worried.
A lot. But I like Baskerville.
Rewatching the Florida State.
I like Jay Ward. I mean, right, this defense, what we've seen.
Yeah.
But even last week, Mike Jones came on a blitz, had the quarterback dead to rights, let him get away.
Like, now, if you can get Will Rogers dead to rights, he will struggle to get away. I just don't know if you can get him dead to rights. I don't know if you can get him, though.
I don't think
if you blitz him, he can make you pay.
This isn't a pass rush game. This is not a pass rush. This is a defend zones, make him throw into tight windows, and if he completes it, tackle immediately. That's what this game is.
Exactly. Isn't Mississippi State favored? What do y'all think the final score will be?
I haven't picked a final yet on this game, but I think this is very.
I'm not picking one yet.
I think it's very similar to Florida State. I think it's a game in the 20s, like Florida State. I think it's going to come down to a final drive. You will have drama late in the game. I think that's what you're going to see, and I think LSU is going to play a lot of games like that.
Yes, I think that almost applies to every SEC game on the schedule this year.
Except Bama.
Your favorite guy, where's Red Hat Guy? I need to know what happened with him. We all think about Red Hat Guy. I agree. Jeb, does Clayton return again this week? I would think so, right?
Has to.
Yeah.
The one surprise was that it wasn't Sage Ryan. Sage Ryan? Yeah, and by the way, Brian Kelly said on Monday that they expect Seven Banks to dress into play. So I'll be interested to see if Seven Banks play. He wears number 1. Yeah. I'll be curious to see if he plays a role, the Ohio State transfer. So keep an eye out for him this week.
Jason Austin says, so are we losing to State this weekend or what? Again, it's a coin flip, man. I don't know. I mean, I could tell you they'll win. I could tell you they'll lose. I wouldn't feel confident. It's a fucking coin flip. Ask Scone T, what do you think the chances that the LSU versus A&M game ends up being a game to determine who finishes the regular season with a winning record and who finishes 6-6? That's a good chance. I think that's actually a pretty good chance, too. That, like, whoever wins finishes 7-5, and whoever loses finishes 6-6. Well, actually, both teams would have to be at 6 wins going into that game then, which both teams right now don't look on pace for. We'll see. But would that be a fun situation, T-Rob Baybear? Alan says, who do y'all think is the third best team in the league right now? It's been a fun conversation. It's probably Kentucky.
That was the biggest question all throughout media days, right?
Exactly, right.
I mean, nobody – and it was really both divisions. It was, Bama, Georgia, but who's the second best team in each division? Nobody – there was no consensus.
No, none at all. None at all. And what's funny is you had A&M sitting there in the top 10, and almost no one ever picked A&M.
I don't understand. I mean, it's one of the reasons why even if the Associated Press said, Scone, would you like to vote in our poll? I would probably turn it down. No, I'm serious. Like, I don't think I want. That's how little volition I think there is to those polls. It's just like why every year a team that's a preseason top 10 team finishes the season unranked.
Yeah.
Every year it happens, and now we've seen A&M and Notre Dame both fall. Notre Dame's out of the poll.
How about
A&M's
Texas?
Like 24. Where are they?
Yeah, A&M's 24. How about Texas losing and getting in the top 25? That shit pisses me off. That's Texas exceptionalism, you bitches. You little AP writing bitches and probably don't vote me for LWASA or whatever.
I don't want to be associated with. I wouldn't want to be associated with that. So the rankings, I just whatever. But to your point, like A&M was 8-4. Why was any a year ago?
So who do you think is the third best team right now, though? I mean, I think the objective answer is Kentucky, but fuck that. I'm on Arkansas.
We'll find out about Arkansas.
Arkansas's got the best. I mean, they got the hardest fucking schedule. Yeah, we're gonna find out about Arkansas because ain't no bitches like Jim Harbaugh up there in Michigan. I ain't playing shit. Arkansas's out here like BYU and Provo. Bring it to me. Cincinnati Open. Bring it to me.
I think.
I'm going to the Swamp week 2. Fuck it. I don't care. Just give me a cold beer. Shut up,
I just think whoever doesn't finish first, or whoever finishes behind Bama, Georgia, you're just going to have this cluster of 5-3, 4-4. I mean, we've said that since media days.
It's just never end.
Right. I don't think they're. I think on a given day you could make that case for a lot of teams. I don't think there's the clear 7-1, 6-2 second place team. I don't think you're going to see that. And
Whenever
that includes
LSU
Dark and
announces
frauds.
the gold game, should the university supply everyone with gold shirts? Yeah, if you really want people to do it, put them on the seats. The people still probably won't do it, but, you know. Bilbo, did Texas go from unranked to ranked after loss? Yes, they did.
Yes.
And it's the height of Texas exceptionalism bullshit to me. And I feel you. Like, I can jive with everybody who tells me that they think that Sark is the guy and that Texas is going to be good. I can feel that. You know, NIL changed the game for them. I agree with that as well. If you look objectively on their rosters, them and Alabama, yes, Alabama has twice the amount of 4 stars, it's like 12 or 5 stars, like 12 to 6, but they have the exact same amount of 4 stars. I mean, they're literally throughout the roster. Like, talent-wise, pretty fucking similar. So I feel you. Texas should be good. But in 2019, we saw them take the greatest football team in college football history to the wire, and then, go 4-4, maybe, no, 5-4 in the Big 12 after that. So, fuck them, dude. Small sample size. Prove it to me before I give you the benefit of the doubt.
Jason Gibson said, did you guys see that Les Miles was hired as the OC in Iowa?
That's
For those that haven't followed Iowa, and I went to look up both scores, Iowa beat South Dakota State 7-3.
Yeah.
And then lost to Iowa State 10-7.
Yeah.
In 2 games, they have scored 14 points.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, they've actually scored. Well, they've scored 14. The offense has scored 10.
Muse
So they're
likes
averaging. The offense is averaging 5 points a
it.
game.
Muse likes it over there.
Yeah, Muse and Cliff. Cliff's talking about some cowboy bullshit. Cliff's a Cowboys fan.
Like, at this point, why would you even acknowledge being a Cowboys fan?
Jerry says he's going to be back at 3. Cliff, don't worry.
That was pretty good. I'm not going to lie to you. That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Why did y'all cut Danucci? Cliff, why did you cut Danucci, you fucking dumbasses? Now you got Cooper Rush. Whew. I'm sorry, everybody in the restaurant. Cliff's a Kentucky fan, or Cowboys fan. I fucking love. I mean, I don't cheer for injuries, but I can be happy when funny shit happens. And the Cowboys objectively funny. The Cowboys getting fucking wrecked on national TV to start the season and losing 10 for 6 I mean, it's fucking brutal, dude. It's like, it is, like, okay, like Pittsburgh's season was lost, but at least they beat the Bengals. Like, they have this one thing to hold on to, like, you know, when we were full strength to be or whatever. No. The Cowboys got wrecked, looked awful with Dak, and now don't have Dak, dude. Oh, my God. I'm sorry, Daniel. You're right. I'm sorry. I got a little out there. And that's the other thing about Texas. No Quinn Ewers, right?
He looked so good.
He looked incredible. He threw for more yards.
The deep balls in the first quarter
They looked great.
To number 8 were so impressive.
Well, and he didn't look scared at all.
Dude.
So the thing is, and yes, of course, Ryan Sean Payton's going to the Cowboys. I hate it. So let's make fun of them while they suck.
I don't care. Just give me the draft picks.
Well, I mean, we'll take the draft picks, but it still pisses me off.
I don't care. We always knew this was going to happen.
It still pisses me off.
Doesn't piss me off. It was always going to happen.
Wait, shit, what were we just talking about a second ago?
Show's over. Oliver Twist, thank you so much for watching.
Ewers.
Here.
He threw for more yards
on Oliver Twist.
than Haynes King did.
Cool.
How about that?
Oliver Twist.
Love